Views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Perry Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's up with it, dog?
Technology is whooping my ass tonight. Internet 1,000. Pooh 2.
It be like that.
But we here. Show must go on. Show must go on. We in this thing. Looking forward to it. Great show tonight. We got we on the bye week. We can just look back, you know what I'm saying? We ain't necessarily got to break down too much, but we can look at some of these numbers. I think the numbers tell a different story than how we actually feel about the team.
Mm-hmm.
But like somebody said once, statistics are like bikinis. They show a lot, but they don't show it all. So we're gonna talk about it. Talk about our picks, weekly picks. I'm having fun doing these, bro. I'm learning a lot more about these teams.
Yeah.
Do I trust my heart and my head, or do I trust what I'm seeing in the numbers and the data and everything coming out? So
this week was tough. I ain't gonna lie.
This week was, first of all, most of the games were terrible.
I ain't gonna say that.
No, most. I'm not talking about the games we picked. Most of the other games on the slate are terrible. They're not interesting. We got a top. We got one top 25. Yeah, we got one top 25, and we'll get there. We got to talk a little NFL and everything. Rest in peace, John Amos, too. Interesting. I learned a lot about him and his ties to sports. I know some people like, yeah, John Amos, but why are we talking about it on the sports show? We'll get there. But first, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, we are back. Man, let's talk about LSU by the numbers so far this season. Looking at it so far, LSU has total offense averaging 468.2 yards per game. The actual total number is 2,341. I know people don't, I mean, that's a big number, but 468.2. We've scored 23 touchdowns on the season. Opponents are averaging 353.6 yards per game and have scored only 13 touchdowns. Passing wise, we're averaging 337 yards a game with 4 picks. Opponents 236.4 yards per game with 2 picks. We've thrown 15 touchdowns, only giving up 5 passing. Rushing, we're averaging 131.2 yards per game with 8 touchdowns. Opponents 117.2 and 8 touchdowns. Time of possession, we're averaging, where is it? I don't even see it on here. I don't see average time possession, so I'll skip that. But third down percentage, 51.7, only giving up 35%. Fourth down, we're 40%, giving up 33%. We've lost 1 fumble. We've forced 10 fumbles, but only picked up 4 of those. We've got 15 sacks. Yeah, we got 15 sacks. We've only given up. Look, is this right too? I don't know if that's right. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the number's gonna tell me something different. Red zone attempts. We've got 25 red zone attempts. 17 have resulted in touchdowns. So
yeah, we got a top 35 offense in terms of scoring points per game, and then on defense, I think we like right outside the 50s, maybe like 53, 54, something like that.
55, I think it's 53 or 53, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in that range, 54, I think. But I mean, we went into this season saying if we could have a top 50 defense, we can make some noise this year.
Yeah.
And we knew we weren't gonna have the number 1 offense, but we said if we could be in the 30s with a top 50 defense, you know what I'm saying, we should be contending for the playoff. And we ain't quite there yet defensively, but you know, if we keep improving the way we have been, I think we'll be right at that mark where we're trying to reach, you know, before the season started.
Yeah. I completely agree. I honestly did not think offensively we would be where we as high as we are. I felt like we would take a step back. I felt like the offense would still be good, but we would take a step back just simply because you lost a Heisman Trophy winner. You lost 2 first round draft pick wide receivers, not just first round talents. You also running back room, you were kind of depleted with graduation, also with transfer, and then injury now. So, or I'm not gonna say injury. Injury now, but
but I
the
know
Trey Holliday case. So it was just yeah. So it's I felt like we would take a bigger step back. I thought we'd be in the 50s, kind of 50-50 offense. Defensively, I thought we'd be in the 80s. Technically, total defense, I'm sorry, we're in this like 73, 70 something.
Yeah, I'd rather go off scoring defense because you could give up yards all day long, but if you hold them to field goals and don't give up many points, it don't really matter.
That's very true. That is very true. So I've been very impressed. But hearing those numbers, anything surprise you?
The amount of sacks,
both defensive and offensive.
No, offense don't surprise me because you remember we were supposed to have the best offensive line in the country.
Very true.
So if we the best offensive line in the country, them the type of numbers you're supposed to have.
That's very, very true.
But
Very true.
defensively, I think we had question marks about what the defensive line would be as a whole. We knew they had potential on the defensive end between Swinson and Savion, but to say that both of them got over 4 sacks in our first 5 games, I don't think nobody would say that we would expect that. Um, I think the level of play we've been getting from those guys has been ridiculously good compared to what I personally expected their play to be.
Yeah. Me, I am surprised offensively that we've only given up 2 sacks. Not because of the offensive line, but because although Nuss is mobile, he's not Jaden. And I know Jaden escaped a lot of pressure last year and got out, and made plays. I thought that the offensive line would hold up for Nuss. But when it gets, coverage wise, the wide receivers don't get open. I thought, it'd be a lot more coverage
I
sacks.
mean, it's only been 5 games though.
That's true. That's true. And I'm just talking about to date. Of course, another thing that surprised me, as much as people have complained about the running game, we're averaging 131 right now. I know that's kind of inflated due to, some of the teams we played, say in the back half. But I am surprised to see that number though.
Numbers lie.
50% on third down doesn't surprise me, but that's something that we did say that we wanted to see was the third down conversion increase on offense and decrease on defense. I didn't even talk about field goals. 5 or 6 on field goals. So far, punts. 8 total punts. 8 total punts.
That's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're 54th in the country on third down on defense. 35%.
I'm sorry. Let me correct that.
We right there where we at in scoring defense on third down defense.
Yeah. 15, my apologies. 15 total punts. We've got 8 punt returns. So
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah. Points per game, we're averaging 35.2, giving up 21.6. So I expect that number to, I'm not gonna say go down, but I do expect it will probably be. Yeah, I mean, especially the game we got
level
coming
of competition going up.
Yeah. I can't. I can't look at. Honestly, it's no game looking forward that I can just look at and be like, yeah, we're good.
Vanderbilt.
I can't even do that. I can't even do Vanderbilt like that. They're a lot better. We should still beat them. They're a lot better than
Vanderbilt, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of numbers, man, let's talk Nuss. Being starting quarterback QB1, people have been looking for this for years. But with a lot of praise comes a lot of criticism. By the numbers, 5 games, he's 138 of 198. He has 4 interceptions. 2 of those against South Alabama. He's thrown for 1,652 yards, has 15 touchdowns. He's averaging 330 yards per game. I don't know. Yeah. So thoughts on this? I know we talked about it on Monday, Sunday, Monday. I can't remember which day. Monday. I know we talked about it, but anything else on this? After kind of
I
hearing
think that's been fine, man. There's a few things he could improve on, but he started 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Take that back. He started 1 game prior to this season. So this is he started half of a season so far in his career. So of course he's gonna still be improving on certain things. He's still gonna have areas that he could do better in. But
Mhm.
I mean, you just read his numbers. First year starter, I'm cool with those numbers,
Mhm.
especially considering those numbers are spread out amongst several receivers. He's not really keying in on one guy. If you
That's
looked
true.
at the top 10 receivers in terms of yardage in the SEC, LSU has 2 of the top 10. Only school to have multiple guys in the top 10 with Kyron Lacy and Aaron Anderson. Then you got, he's showing love to Mason Taylor. Xavier Thomas and CJ Daniels have been getting involved more recently in these past few weeks. So I
Mhm.
mean, it ain't like he just got one guy. Like last year, Jaden put up incredible numbers, but 80% of that went to 2 guys,
Mhm.
if not more. So I think that he's putting up numbers, not Jaden numbers, but what I mean, he's putting up good numbers, but he's doing it in a way that Jaden didn't do it last year, which is spreading it around more and getting more people involved in the offense.
Mhm. Yeah. Just looking at it because you mentioned the wide receivers, the numbers. Aaron Anderson, 27 catches, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Lacy, 25 catches, 352 yards, 5 touchdowns. Mason Taylor, 28 catches, 280 yards, 1 touchdown. CJ Daniels, 20 catches, 239 yards, 0 touchdowns as of yet. Caden Durham, 6 6 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. We all know one of those was last week, and it was 73 yards, 77
Yeah,
yards,
that's
however
crazy.
long. Xavier, 12 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Parker, 3 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Williams got 4 catches for 41 yards. Caleb Jackson has 4 catches for 32 yards. Javen Nicholas, I think that's in garbage time. But he has 3 catches, 24 yards. Juwan Johnson's 5 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown. Pimpton has 2 catches for 19 yards. And then Emery has 1 catch for 10 yards, and Trey Dez has 2 catches for 10 yards. So right there,
Yeah,
you're looking at what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different receivers.
yeah.
And I know not all of those caught a pass from Nuss, but I think if I'm not mistaken, looking at this list, 13 of the 14 have caught a pass from Nuss. So shut the door all the way. So yeah. Let me ask this, and then we can get on to our picks for the week, and talk about some of these games. What's something you want to see going forward with this team? Oh, you know what? Before we go there, we talked Monday about the Heisman hopefuls, and we talked Cam Ward. Cam Ward's numbers. I don't remember the completion and attempts, but he had 1,760 some yards, 18 touchdowns, 4 picks. Nuss is not far off that number. Not saying I'm not, and with me saying that, I am not saying Nuss is a Heisman candidate or in the top 3 or whatever, but he is not far off that number. He is 16, 52, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks. So again, he's not far off that number.
Yeah.
So yes.
I mean, his numbers right up there with the best in the country.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned, and I don't think he is either, in whether or not he's in the Heisman talks.
Right.
I think if you win, it'll come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he just got to continue doing what he's been doing so far, and try to improve on a few things that we've talked about in the past few episodes. Not being as what's the word I'm looking, focused on one receiver, when he's on his drop backs and kind of telegraphing his passes.
Mhm.
And not trusting his arm so much sometimes, just to take what the defense give you a little bit more. But I'm fine with what I've been getting from him so far. If you would have told me at the bye week those would be his numbers, sign me up all what I'm saying, every day of the week for that. Especially
Mhm.
considering one of those interceptions came at the end of the game versus USC when he was just trying to make a play. I'm not upset at that. So you really can take that interception away. So I'm good with his numbers, man. I think he's nowhere near the reason why we got a one in the loss column, but I think he's a lot of the reason why you got the 4 in the front in the win column.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Now back to what I was asking before. What is something that you want to see going forward?
Complimenting us, with a running game. Um, it's starting to come these last few weeks. We're starting to see it blossom a little bit with the emergence of Caden Durham. And I think how they say it, rising tides lift all boats or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think when with the emergence of him, it's made Caleb Jackson a little hungrier to try to keep his share of the targets. I mean the touches, and he's been running a little better these last few weeks. Obviously, you know what you're getting with Josh Williams, but I think if you can get a solid running game to go with Nuss, especially considering the schedule you got ahead of you, and the teams that you're gonna be playing in the defensive fronts that you're gonna be playing against. Um, I know we ain't talking about Ole Miss tonight, but they actually like lead the nation in rushing defense. Albeit their schedule plays a large part of that, but I think you're gonna have to at least attempt to run the ball against Ole Miss to keep their defensive line from just pinning their ears back. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check these numbers, but I'm pretty sure Ole Miss, yeah, they number 3 in the country with 18 sacks. So if you don't run the ball against Ole Miss, they will and they know that you finna drop back and pass every time. They got some guys on their defensive line who can get after the quarterback. So I know we've only given up 2 sacks, but like I said, the level of competition is ramping up these next few weeks, and you're gonna have to have a compliment to Nussmeier, or teams will start getting more pressure on him, which in turn will cause more sacks. And you got a week, bro, to rest up. You know what I mean? Like find out what's the problem in the running game and work on it. But I think that's really what I want to see going forward. And on the other side of the ball, still that secondary, bro. Not so much the coverage. I think we've been improved a lot in that aspect. I think guys are in position a lot more than they have been these past couple years. I still would like to see them turn their head and try to make a play on the ball. But I have noticed this, and it might be what they taught to do. So I'm not gonna knock them too much because it looked like they taught to play through the hands, right? You know what I'm saying? To when the receiver catch the ball, you strip the ball out of his hands once he make the catch. Because we've seen PJ Woodland do it against who was that again? Was that against USC?
No,
Yeah,
that was him
yeah,
against US. I
USC.
know. I've
Yeah,
seen he did it. Stamps.
Stamps done it. You know that's what I'm saying? It's been done multiple times. So I think that might be what they've been taught to do, not necessarily turn their head and look for the ball, but just play through the hands of the receiver. So if that's what they're being taught to do, I guess I can't knock them too much, but it's just a pet peeve of mine. But as far as the secondary, the tackling, especially from the safety position, I thought Deshaun Spears looked good when he was in. Um, he made some key tackles and kept some plays from going for more yardage. And I know they're talking about switching up things with Major Burns and Toviano and possibly Jordan Gilbert too. So we'll see what that other position looks like. But I just need to see more from that position, bro. Especially from the guys who've been here for 3-4 years.
Yeah. Completely agree. I'm with you when you're right. So now you talked about the running game. Something I noticed last game, and I didn't talk about it on Monday. Probably should have. Caleb Jackson. He looked a lot better running the ball last game. And I think what they did a reverse with the change of pace. Instead of bringing in, because what it seemed like they tried to do starting out was give you thunder, and then bring in lightning. And this time they brought in lightning, and then came back with thunder, and things were opened a lot more. The passing game helps in that as well. But I do like what they were doing with that. You talked about the safeties and stuff. What I want to see more of, I want to see more screen passes and swing passes out the backfield.
Yeah,
To the running
especially
backs.
Durham.
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen what he can do with the ball in his hands. Just give him the ball in space and just let him go to work.
Yeah.
But to your point, real quick, before you about Caleb and the way they used him in Durham, I prefer that way, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have more of the offense at your disposal with Durham in the game. I feel like he's better out the backfield receiving than Jackson. So that's one more thing the defense has to account for whenever he's in the game. So go ahead and put him out there on the field early and use his speed to kind of stretch the defense horizontally, sideline to sideline a little bit, which will open more holes up in between the tackles for Caleb, where he's at his best at, And so I think you doing it that way is the best way, or at least it's the most effective way, as we saw last week, to your point. It maximizes both of them to their best potential.
Yeah. Going forward, tight end utilization. We're using Mason Taylor perfectly. I love it. I know you joked with Trey Dez going to ULM in the game. But I want not just Trey Dez. Trey Dez is the shiny new weapon, the shiny new toy everybody wants to play with. I want to see Pimpton. I want to see a lot more of Pimpton involved, especially what we heard coming out of camp. Hell, not Trey Dez, I'm sorry. Pimpton improved so much. McAway left.
Yeah.
So I want to see it. I want to see it. I'm trying to think what else. We will see a little bit more out of the. We'll see more coming out of the. I can't even get my mind right. Linebacker rotation. We'll see more of that with moving forward. I want to see a lot more of the younger guys get a little bit of burn. See what we got. We
Debo Saturday.
Saw Debo. I want to see some of these younger wide receivers. I want to see Billy and Watkins. We talked about the freshman wide receiver class. We're seeing guys, Ryan Williams, who everybody's talking about. We've seen Smith out of Ohio State, the kids at Auburn. I want to see our guys do that because I know they're capable of doing it. I don't necessarily need to see them start, but I want to see them in the game, get in on the rotation.
Yeah. I think last game was the game for that.
Hello.
But neither here nor there. But to your point about Pimpton, I wonder if that's something they kind of like just keeping in the deck
Yeah, you know
for
what?
SEC
I thought
play.
about that. Yeah, I thought about that, but and you may be right.
Because I mean, yeah, South Carolina was a tricky game, but in that situation, I don't know if you really were on the road, hostile environment, what, third game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you really were gonna dial up something for him in that moment. You know what I mean? That's a big stage for him. But maybe Saturday night in Death Valley, first drive of the game, you know what I mean? No real pressure on him. You could dial something up for him in the red zone. You know what I mean? So I'm just holding out hope that we still gonna see something in the future with
Mm-hmm.
Pimpton. And they just keeping that big joke in their hand, and they're gonna use it at the
Literally,
last.
literally, big joker.
And they're gonna use it. They just gonna use it at the last minute. You know what I mean?
Right. What's good, Coach Green?
Man, chill out, bro.
he, he came
Chill
in.
out, man. That's a sensitive subject right now, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Coach
still
Green.
grieving.
Coach Green,
We
he
had
canceled the show on us.
that game won, man.
Coach Green, he canceled the show because of that game. We can't even talk about it. No, I'm just playing. Just playing. Man.
We'll talk
But,
next week. We got to get a bounce back at the we could talk.
All right. All right, man. You ready to talk about our picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hold on. The third co-host and popped up over here. He ready to talk about his picks.
Right, I'm gonna y'all probably gonna give me this week. I ain't gonna lie.
He's shaking his head. No, he don't think.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Before we get to the games.
Yeah.
Like, I know you mentioned this week ain't a good slate of games, right?
Right.
And I kind of agree as far as like we only got one top 25 matchup this week. And if you compare it to like next week and the weeks coming after that, it's gonna look like it's a terrible slate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you done been watching college football just as long as I have. It's always a weekend like this where you expect so-and-so to beat so-and-so, and you expect this team to handle this team easily, and then you look up in the third quarter and Purdue is got Ohio State up by 3, and Ohio State got the ball with 4 minutes left. You know what I mean? Like, it's always this type of weekend that lead to crazy things happening. So while I agree with you that it ain't a good weekend in terms of like marquee matchups, I think it's gonna end up being a crazy weekend in terms of upsets or close upsets or teams got taken to the wire and that type of deal.
Hold on, Coach Green. Hold on. Say that question. We're gonna come back to that. I'm gonna put a pin in that one. But let's look at the games we picked. Syracuse versus number 25 UNLV. You pick Syracuse, I pick UNLV. I
don't feel good about this at all.
I think it's funny. I think we both agree that what we saw from UNLV is promising going forward, especially with Sluka out. We both agree that Kyle McCord has been lights out. I mean, I didn't even. It's hard to even realize that this is the same guy that played against Missouri in the bowl game that looked like dog crap. It's hard to believe that's the same guy. But here we are.
The same guy Ohio State fans were saying that's the only reason that Marvin Harrison didn't have better numbers was because he was this quarterback.
Interesting. But hey, he's lighting it up. Anything you want? I know we also let me drop it in the chat as well, because the article is out there with our picks, kind of explaining a lot of these. So let me go ahead and drop it here. I also post it out on Twitter and Facebook later on. But man, you want to you got anything on this that you want to?
I honestly, bro, I don't know why I picked Syracuse. Like it was really just like a gut decision type deal. Cause everything when I was like, I ain't gonna say researching, but when I was looking, looking at each team or whatever and what they've done this year, I guess you can call it researching. When I was researching for these picks, everything told me go UNLV. But I don't know, it's just something about Syracuse this year that they just I don't know.
No,
I think it's McCord. I think McCord. I trust McCord more in a big moment right now than Malik Hodge Williams, I guess. You know what I mean? And that ain't or Hodge Malik Williams, no disrespect to him. But he came from Campbell. He ain't been one starter in UNLV. Has he been in a close game situation? If it's 28 with 4 minutes left and he got the ball, like you want him or McCord with the ball. And I guess that's what it ultimately came down to, because Brennan Marion is my dog. I think that's one of the up and coming OCs in the country, and his offense is always going to be able to run the ball. And Syracuse run defense hasn't been great, but at the same time, Syracuse is going to put up points, and UNLV's defense at times can be kind of sketchy. So
at times,
I mean, it's a toss-up game, and I really basically flipped the coin and went with Syracuse.
So UNLV, I had firsthand viewing of this UNLV team week 1 when they took on Houston. I knew UNLV would be good. I said they'll probably win the Mountain West again. Caveat to that, and I get to that in a minute. Syracuse is bad against the run. UNLV likes to run. UNLV is bad against the pass. Syracuse likes to pass. This game is going to be fun. Barry Odom, he has got this defense rocking, and with Haj Malik, I think we both I think this team is better now with him at the helm, and I think we see a lot more passing. I think that you see a lot more balance in this offense.
My question about them is, all right, so you talked about Barry Odom and the defense. How good, no disrespect, how good is their defense? And what is the level of competition of the offenses that they've played? And no disrespect by any means in that question.
Oh no. Yeah, no, so no, because they were literally gift wrapped it the game against Houston. Houston tried to pass the entire game. And that just didn't work out well. I think the Kansas game.
I mean, Kansas ain't the same. Kansas ain't the same Kansas as they were. They lost their OC, and Jalen Daniels don't look the same as he did last couple of years. Whenever they had, I can't remember his name, but the OC that's at Penn State now, and and he won in Kansas. What, 1-3? I mean, it ain't the same Kansas team. So how good is that offense?
Yeah, hold on, because I'm pulling up who they played. It was Houston, Utah Tech, Kansas, and Fresno State. So I do understand what you're saying, and I can agree. I can't argue. It's hard to argue against it. The numbers say, hey, they look well. But you're right. The quality of the competition, and they'll say as far as the offense they play.
That's why I say this a true test for them, because I know,
and they get them they do get them at home.
They
so
do
that
get them at
help.
home. That's true. That is true. But this another thing. Like you mentioned, they bad against the pass, but Syracuse also got LaQuint Allen at running back, who he averages like 5 yards a carry. They don't run it much, but whenever they do run it, he getting you half a first down every time. So if it gets to the point where Syracuse has a lead and they trying to like milk the clock, they can lean on that run game and still be pretty successful. So I just want to this a test for that UNLV defense they hadn't seen all year. Whereas I feel like Syracuse, maybe not a running game to the same caliber of UNLV, but I mean they played Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? They seen a good run game before. You know what I mean? Like, so I just feel like they more equipped for what they going up against than UNLV from what they've seen so far against Syracuse offense.
That's fair. Next up, number 9 Missouri versus number 25 Texas A&M. I will say this is the only top 25 matchup on the weekend. It's not even my favorite matchup on this list. Honestly, I don't care about this matchup. And it's not because of one way or the other. I don't think either of these teams are as good as these rankings show, but they are a benefit of Mizzou is a benefit of who they've played thus far. I'm looking in and doing research. Mizzou has struggled the last 2 games. Who are they last 2 games? Vanderbilt and Boston College. Granted, Boston College is up and coming. They're gonna do well. Vanderbilt, I feel, is also up and coming. They're gonna do well. But like you said, it's Vanderbilt. On the flip side of that, Texas A&M has struggled against in their last 2 games. Arkansas, I give them a little credit for Arkansas and Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green was bad. I'll give you that.
So,
but to be fair though, in the Bowling Green game, that was old boy first start.
Yeah, that's and we can be fair with that. Here's the thing. This is Mizzou's first road game.
Bingo.
That scares me a little bit.
Bingo.
But here's the caveat to that. They're coming off a bye week. And this is also a veteran-led offense.
But
that's going to College Station versus an offense that can't score.
But
go ahead.
How many y'all? Tell me how many yards Luther Burden got right now on the season.
Oh, he don't have many. I think he barely got over 100 or right at 200.
So I mean,
but still the offense is still a for instance, both teams are down in scoring this year. I can't say that. Texas A&M has 8 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns. Mizzou has 11 passing touchdowns. I'm sorry, 11 rushing touchdowns and 4 passing touchdowns. They started picking up their passing last week not last week, but last game they had versus Vanderbilt. I think coming out of this, it's this bye week going in against it. I think I give Mizzou the edge. Texas A&M, I just don't see it right now. Their offense is not And it's because they got a young quarterback. It's they may get there, but I think
I mean,
if I got to hang my hat on who's gonna get there
Who gonna
faster,
score?
Mizzou. Okay, so Mizzou is averaging what, like 25.2, something like that, 25.02. It's something like that. Texas A&M is not far behind.
Texas A&M is averaging 29 points a game.
Okay, 29. What is Mizzou averaging? I might be confusing them with the next game. I think I am.
36 and a half.
36 and a half. So both.
But against who?
That's true. That's true.
Because if I go back to their last two games for Mizzou,
they won. It was if I'm not mistaken,
they put up 30 in two overtimes versus Vanderbilt, and they put up 27 versus Boston College.
Okay.
At home.
Yeah.
Now you're finna go to one of the roughest environments in college football, whether we like them or not, in Kyle Field, and you're finna play a better defense than either one of the two defenses you just played, where you barely scored 30 points.
That's fair. Now, let me ask you this. With that said, how many points has Texas A&M been putting up? I mean, I know you just told me the 29, but in the last few games, I know they put up 33 against Texas, against Florida. They put up, I forget what they put up against Bowling.
26 versus Bowling Green and 21
and
last
21.
week. But you can't
tell
me they can't put up
7 of the last week was a pick 6.
You can't tell me they can't put up 24 against Missouri defense at home.
They put up 24 against Missouri defense. How many would they give up?
20.
Yeah. You think? I think they'll give up more than that.
Missouri hasn't seen a defense like this.
I understand, and I don't think Texas A&M has seen an offense like this. How offensively have they played?
They just played Arkansas.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't think Arkansas tactically, strategically is a better team. Athletically, talent-wise, Mizzou is a better team on offense.
I don't know about that, dog.
Okay.
I mean, Luther Burden is the best player on both teams. I'll give you that by far.
Theo Wees is also there.
Man, Armstrong just as good or better than Wees.
Okay.
Then Arkansas got a better running game.
Which quarterback you taking?
I take Brady Cook. I take Brady Cook, but I take Arkansas offensive line.
Okay.
So I think it's what and what.
Okay.
And
I'm just leaning Mizzou.
And then you got Mizzou. They haven't left home yet, bro.
Yeah, that does work.
A huge factor, dog.
Yeah.
And then Burden, like, I don't know how. Just like you ain't finna just. I don't know. You ain't finna run the ball really on Texas A&M. And so you're gonna have to try to throw it through the air. That's your only option.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but if I give you this, if A&M got to throw the ball to win, they ain't gonna win. I'll give you that. If they get down double digits, it's over.
Yeah.
But they run for 230 a game. So they ain't trying to pass the ball. If they can lean on Le'Veon and Owens, then they'll be fine.
Yeah. Next game, it's a similar situation. Number 10 Michigan versus Washington. It's funny because I didn't even think about this. Is Michigan's first away game, first road game as well. They're going all the way to Washington. I was leaning Washington a lot in this. It's funny because in the write-up, I described this as the national champ, the natty rematch that nobody wants to see. Nobody cares to see.
It's also the natty rematch with two new coaching staffs and double-digit new players on both sides.
No returning quarterbacks.
Bingo. Yeah, what I'm saying, like,
yeah. Dog, Bet the under.
For sure.
Michigan, what, 24? Washington, 21 points per game. Both of them are averaging. It's something, whatever. It's in the right. It's terrible. Whatever it is terrible. I took Michigan in this one, bro. I didn't even look at the road game away. It was more so Michigan has played stiffer competition. They've played Texas. They lost. They played USC. They played I forget who else. Michigan. Well, they had Fresno State. I'm not gonna say Minnesota.
They should have
But
lost.
they should have. They've played stiffer competition. In my opinion. Washington, on the other hand, has played Weber State, Eastern Michigan, Washington State, Northwestern, and Rutgers. Of the three teams that have a pulse on this schedule, they've lost to two of them. Rutgers ran the ball all over Washington. What is Michigan about to do? Because they averaging like 230.
They're finna try to run the ball.
You don't think they'll be able to?
I mean, Washington is like top 55 in rush defense. I mean, you gotta realize.
But I did just see them get ran all over by Rutgers that we about to talk about.
That's fair. That's fair. You did. But where was that game played at?
That was at Rutgers. Piscataway.
So they flew across literally all the way across the country.
Okay.
I think they're gonna be different at home.
I'm looking because they well, I was gonna say that was different. They threw all over them. I was gonna say Washington State beat them at home, but they did more.
They give up 121. I mean, they give up 121 rushing yards per game.
Yeah.
But Michigan is 129th in the country in passing offense.
Yeah.
129th. You can't be that one-dimensional versus a team that's 10th in total defense, dog.
That's fair.
And then if you look at the other side, like Michigan is accessible to the pass. They like 100 and something in the country in passing yards allowed versus a Washington team with Will Rogers at quarterback, who if he make a few plays here and there, that could change the game, because it ain't like Michigan can throw the ball and come from behind to win. Michigan ain't left home neither, though, and I think that matters.
Yeah, I mentioned that too. Yeah,
Washington a tough place to play, bro.
Yeah. Next up, we both agreed on this. We got number 12 Ole Miss versus South Carolina. Only question I got in this: how fast before South Carolina fans say they lost because of the refs?
I think their problem is they one-dimensional on offense.
They do get Sellers and Rocket Sanders back this week.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I mean Ole Miss is it's pretty good against the run.
Yeah,
I mean,
we ain't gotta stay here long because we both agreed on that.
And we saw LSU have success in the air versus
I completely agree.
And then
I think this would be the most lopsided game of the weekend of our picks. This would be the most lopsided.
I agree. And you got Jackson Dart, who like second in the country in passing. Trey Harris lead the nation in passing. But pay attention to this. Antoine Juice Wells going back to South Carolina.
Yeah.
That could be play a factor in this game somehow, some way. But I think South Carolina keep it close for a little while just because They get Sellers and Rocket back. They're gonna be amped up coming off a bye week. That play's gonna be rocking. But I think ultimately Ole Miss gonna pull it off.
Yeah.
Crazy though. Second 2 weeks in a row, Ole Miss got to play a road game versus a team coming off a bye. 2 weeks in a row.
And then they got to play LSU coming off a bye.
That's what I'm saying. This week versus South Carolina and next week versus us. Back-to-back weeks where they got to play a team coming off a bye. Last week they had Kentucky coming off a bye, but they were at home.
Okay, I was going to say South Carolina ain't coming off a bye. They play. I mean, Ted, I guess you want to say they play Akron, if I'm not mistaken.
No, South Carolina didn't have a game last week.
I thought they played last week. I thought they played Akron.
I'm pretty sure that was off last week. Let me double check. No, they was off.
Oh, okay. What am I? I thought they played more games than that. Old Dominion, LSU. No, yeah, Old Dominion, Kentucky, LSU, Akron. Okay. Yeah, you're right. 3 weeks in a row. Somebody, I don't know who they pissed off to get that schedule. Yeah.
Kentucky wasn't coming off a bye. My bad.
Okay.
But just South Carolina and LSU. Right. Yeah, either way, that's crazy.
Yeah. Last game, man. On our slate, Rutgers versus Nebraska. You picked Nebraska, I picked Rutgers. I watched that game last week with Rutgers taking on Washington. Dominant. I'm trying to figure out why Rutgers isn't ranked yet.
That's a great question. $1 million question. Yeah. $1 million question.
Let's see, because I looked at who they've played, and I was like, so if I'm not mistaken, the only team they played like Howard to start off, but then let's see, Howard, then they in Akron, then they played Virginia Tech. Well, they beat Virginia Tech. I don't know. Well, beat Virginia Tech, beat Washington.
Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt.
I don't know, but I can't say that this year, man. Vanderbilt.
How can you not say that? What has Vanderbilt done for you not to say that? They beat Virginia Tech. That's why you saying you can't say that.
They beat Virginia Tech. They honestly, man, they should.
They almost beat Missouri. Like that's what we're going off of.
I was gonna say not just that, man. But anyway, go ahead.
I think they have gotten better, but I still don't think they're a team that's just like, oh, they consistently finna go beat people.
I do, but we can. That's for another day. We can focus on Rutgers and Nebraska. This was the hardest game for me to pick, and I honestly think this is the best game of the weekend. On this,
they evenly matched.
Yeah,
they like mirror images of each other, except one got a Patrick Mahomes looking like a quarterback.
Yeah, I like Rutgers. I like Nebraska too.
The only reason I picked Nebraska because they at home. I'm being 100% honest with you. Yeah. Like I literally was looking for a quarter because I was finna flip a coin, but I just went with the home team.
Yeah,
but interesting though.
Mm-hmm.
Rutgers has never beaten Nebraska before. But on the other hand, Nebraska has lost 5 of their last 6 conference games. Something gonna give.
Yeah,
we'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, I talked about it. Rutgers hadn't been as good since Shiano was there.
Yeah,
the first time. So
it's something crazy about Shiano being in Rutgers to make them good, bro.
That's facts. All right, let me see. Deal. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Coach Green said he picking UNLV and Missouri over A&M. So you riding with Pooh. Just say you riding with Pooh, man. That's all you had to say, bro. It's all good. I think I'm gonna have a terrible week. I just got a feeling it's a down week for me. I don't know why, but I just
All
got
right.
that feeling.
All right, let you do your picks then, so you can get to bed.
I'm tired.
I know you're tired. I'm sorry, but you want to do your picks. Here you go. You pick UNLV to win. Any reason?
Better ranking.
Better ranking. You pick Mizzou to beat Texas A&M. Is it better ranking? You pick Washington to beat Michigan.
Upset.
Upset.
You got South Carolina beating Ole Miss. Is that because of upset too, or what you got?
Ole Miss had a big upset last week,
You think it's gonna happen twice?
and also South Carolina almost won against LSU.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, you picked Rutgers over Nebraska. You don't know. You just did. Okay. They ain't got no bird, so I don't know why you picked them. No
That's why I
bird for you.
picked South Carolina, I thought.
No bird. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Love you and good night.
Good night.
All right. He's so tired. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have woke you up. I should have just made up your picks. But man, that's it. That's it on the picks, man. Like I said, man, I'm enjoying it. Actually looking into these games.
The only other game maybe was Louisville Southern Miss, but I mean Southern Miss, SMU. But
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Before the season, I would have thought Florida State Clemson, but
hello.
Hey, so have you seen, before we move on to NFL, have you seen the
No, I was going. Oh, you already said the other notable games.
Shit, I just gave you all of them.
Yeah,
and I ain't even trying to be funny, dog.
No, you're not. I don't even.
But have you seen what the promotion that Cal is doing for this Miami game?
Mm-mm.
All right, so back in the day, Notre Dame versus Miami was Catholics versus convicts, right?
Yeah.
All right, so they making merchandise and stuff in Berkeley that say woke versus Coke.
What?
I thought that was pretty clever, dog. Hey, is Florida gonna lose another game to an in-state school?
They got UCF this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Probably before last week, I would have said, you know what? I'm gonna say yeah.
UCF favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
What about
last week was all, and then with KJ familiarity with playing against Florida, yeah. So
Yep. Then sneaky good game in the Big 12, Texas Tech versus Arizona.
Yeah.
Keep your eye out on that one. But other than that, I think that's all of them, bro.
Yeah.
Big 10
Friday
really
night.
got nothing.
Yeah,
What's
Friday night?
night?
Friday night. Houston taking on TCU in Fort Worth. I'm be on the lookout, man. Be on the lookout. 16 might be on the field, man. He in the 2D depth chart now.
Seen that, man. I seen it.
Work hard, man. Proud of you, son.
That's good, bro. That's good.
So we'll see
that.
And
going out there and showing what they've been missing on the field, bro.
Yeah. Tell them, man. Listen, you got to step up. Dylan got more catches than you on the season.
Facts.
Oh man. But he do got more penalties than Dylan do. So
what did he get a penalty for, dog?
He got 2 last game, bro. They was like, they threw a flag and said, the first one was holding. I was like, it's kind of tick attack. The second one blocking the back, and we saw the replay. It was clear. It was clear as day. He blocked. It was a good block though. He blocked it. He blocked to the best of his ability. It just so happened to be
in the back.
the wrong side. But
I'm sure he got an earful in the on the sideline after that.
dog, I'm gonna tell you what made it worse. They called a penalty, and so his mama's watching, and they call a penalty, and they say
she heard the number and got excited.
She heard though. She said, I know that boy ain't get a penalty. I said, no, they ain't call his name. See, yes, they did. I rewind it back, and they said, hold it, number 16. Then that's what made it worse. The announcer say, Willie Fritz told us one of the things he hates is special team penalties. So, very next play. I'm not very next play, but they went down, some, kicked off. And illegal block in the back, number 16. And the announcer said, Willie Fritz is gonna lose his mind. He hates those special teams.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I was like,
I know he got an earful, bro.
No, he did. If he ain't hear from Willie Fritz, I know who he did hear from.
Special teams coach. Straight up. His mama.
I told you to make a name for yourself. I ain't say do it like that. Oh man. But yeah, man, that was I'm looking forward to that one though. Man, let's go ahead and talk about it. Saints real quick. Started the season out 2-0. Have lost the last two. Winnable, very winnable. They and literally lost it. They didn't get beat. They lost those two games.
They beat themselves.
They got the Chiefs coming up. Will they bounce back?
I think it's a winnable game considering the state of the Chiefs right now. But at the same time, part of me feels like this is gonna be a game where like the third string tight end for the Chiefs goes off for like 2 touchdowns or something,
Considering we've already seen Goddard, saying tear them apart.
Yeah. And that's part of what I was going to about beating yourselves. I know the offense ain't been the same as it was the first 2 weeks, but to their credit, both games, they gave you a lead late in the fourth quarter, and all the defense had to do was make a stop. And both times the defense failed to make a stop. I'm not blaming those 2 losses on the defense by any means, because I think they were the part of the reason you were still in the game in both of those games.
And big facts.
But at the same time, they were the ones who let you down in both of those games. I think the Philadelphia game, I'm putting part of that on coaching, because if it's 3rd and 6 or whatever it was, I'm not running man to man when I know they only got one dude that can beat me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna force Dallas Goedert to find a soft spot in the zone somewhere and beat me. But that's just but against Atlanta, man, one penalty cost you the game ultimately, bro. Put them in field goal range, and Young Wei Koo did his thing. So I think Chiefs is a winnable game. They just hopefully you get Taysom back. Hopefully you get DeMario Davis back and some of these guys. I know you're not getting McCoy back, but hopefully you can get some of these guys who are banged up back for this Chiefs game, especially on defense, because they still gonna come in. Kareem Hunt he back with them and putting up yards and stuff. So they still got weapons, and it's still Patrick Mahomes you're going up against. But I think it's a winnable game just in terms of you've been in every game so far this year. So I feel like this another one that you could be in late in the game. You just got to find a way to win. My concern with that is if it is a close game late in the game, I don't trust Dennis Allen. I feel like you got certain players who aren't clutch, right? Whenever it's crunch time and close situation, close ball game, late in the game, they tighten up. I think that's what Dennis Allen do. And I really don't trust him late in the game, especially with Andy Reid on the other side.
Yeah. All right, man. Other NFL games, man. It's not a good matchup. It's not a big matchup. I think it's a little lopsided, but I'm interested in seeing Commanders, Jane Daniels and the Commanders versus
The Cleveland defense.
the Cleveland, yeah. Interesting stat. The Commanders punter, Tressway. His entire career from 2014 to I'm gonna say last year, 2023, he had 726 punts. He was averaging pretty much the lowest punts he had in one season was 49. Other than that, it's been 73, 83, 60, 73, 79, 79, 83s, 49, 70, 77. So you see what I'm saying, right? Want to take a guess how many punts he has this year?
2.
4 punts the entire season. If this continues, he's looking at 16, 17, 20 punts on the season.
Man, ain't no way this continues.
Dude, I agree. As things go on, defenses are gonna pick up on Washington's offense. They're gonna pick up on what Jay's doing, but he's still on pace for like 25, bro.
He gonna be at 40 something by the end of the season.
That's wild. I'm just saying, that's wild. Other games. You've got a chance if you're the Saints. If you pick up this win, you could possibly. Well, no, because somebody's got to win out of Atlanta and Tampa Bay. I was gonna say you got a chance to put yourself up because
that's tomorrow night too.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold revenge game.
I was looking at that. You got Sam Darnold revenge game.
Ravens Bengals.
You got Trayvon Diggs revenge game.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs.
Packers Rams should be pretty good. And Chiefs Cowboys. I mean not Chiefs Cowboys. Steelers Cowboys.
Yeah, that'll be good. Everybody else is kind of a stink face.
The Caleb Williams Bowl, Bears versus
Carolina.
Versus Panthers. The Raiders Broncos might end up being a good game, but it might be ugly to watch.
Yeah, I think. Nuss. I was gonna say Seattle, New York might be a sneaky good game.
Yeah, it might not be bad. Yeah. I think the Packers Rams would be a good one.
Yeah. Man, let's get ready to finish it off. Your girls, man. The Aces down 0-2 to the Liberty, bro. Ionescu sealed the deal yesterday.
Yeah, she went off late in the game, man. I thought we had it, bro. We're going back home now, though, so maybe we can. It ain't looking good, though, bro. It ain't looking good. I think they just tired of winning. They just wanted somebody else to win this year. That's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah, I got you, man. It's a good excuse. It's good enough for me.
If anything, though, like it's 3 teams trying to three-peat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they had the hardest path of the 3. Just because Chelsea was hurt half the season, you know what I mean? Like Kelsey didn't. I don't know what's going on with Kelsey. Maybe not the hardest, but I just felt like it wasn't likely this year anyway. Especially when we was missing Chelsea to start the season, and we ended up having to go to New York in the second round instead of having home court. That's one thing that's helped us in the past few years is having home court. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Ooh. Next man, I mentioned at the top of the show, rest in peace, John Amos, man. He's mostly known for his playing the father on Good Times. Cleo McDowell in Coming to America. He was old Kuta Kinte in Roots. He's been a lot of stuff, Die Hard, everything else. But did you know he's from East Orange, New Jersey, right? Did you know he played football at Colorado State? And was also a Golden Gloves boxing champion. In 1964, he signed a free agency contract with the Broncos. But he pulled a hamstring, was unable to run the 40-yard dash, and they basically released him. He then went on to play in the UFL with the Canton Bulldogs and the Joliet Explorers. In 1965, he played for the Norfolk Neptunes and the Wheeling Ironmen of the Continental Football League. In 1966, he played in the Jersey City Jets and the Waterbury Orbits of the Atlantic Coast Football League.
He's just making teams up now, dog.
Bruh, I swear. Well, that's what they say. It could be wrong because somebody could be, saying, mix up. But in 1967, he signed. He was a free agent contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah,
that's what's up.
It said, Coach Hank Strong told him, "You're not a football player. You're a man who is trying to play football."
Damn.
Yeah, that's cold. That's cold. But yeah, he's and they were, I heard them talking about it today on the radio. And they were talking about this, and it was like, I forget which movie he was in, but he was Kansas City Mac, and they would say it's funny because they think he, was influenced by his time of being a Kansas City Chief. So, but yeah, man, that's all I got for you tonight, bro. I don't know. We can't, because like I said, we can't end on a note like that.
Before we reconvene on this Sunday evening, do you know what's happening between now and then?
No,
Obviously,
not off
besides football. Besides football.
I mean, football. I mean, I know baseball is in playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We got a couple teams eliminated today. The Astros got sent home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tiger sent them home, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the Royals sent sent somebody home too.
The Braves still in it?
Yeah, they down 5-2 right now to the Padres, and if I'm not mistaken, the Brewers beat the Mets tonight too to save off elimination.
Yeah, the Brewers did beat the Mets. Kansas City sent Baltimore home, sent the Orioles home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But between now and Sunday, preseason NBA basketball.
Oh, okay. Did you see Savannah James, one wife of LeBron James, was playing the game? The only reason she was playing it because she was playing with Bronny.
I don't care about this shit. That's pointless information that nobody needs to know in their life.
Oh man.
There's no reason I should have saw that on 17 different sites. 17 different pages on my timeline either, bro. Like, people have no life.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. I'm trying to think what else we got, man.
It's a UFC fight this weekend too.
Pereira versus Roundtree Jr. 307. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Let's see what else is on that card.
It's a women's title fight too.
Yeah, you got Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena, Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista.
Them boy need to retire.
Dude, they been going for a long. I know a lot of people don't know a lot of these names. This will be a good one. Roman Delenzi versus Kevin Holland. That should be a good one. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson taking on Joaquin Buckley. For those of you who don't really keep up with UFC, I say Joaquin. Joaquin Buckley is the guy who did the spinning kick, knockout kick. That one famous.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I thought he retired. Ryan Spann is fighting against Vince St. Pro. OSP. I thought he had retired. Sheesh.
You think ULM got a chance this week?
Who they got? I saw it, and I think they do. Who was that?
James Madison.
Oh no, I'm take that back. Nope, I might be thinking about last week. My bad.
They beat Troy last week.
That's who it was. That was Troy. They was underdog too. ULM was. Yeah.
I think I might hit them this week though. JMU.
Trying to think what else we got, man.
That's all I got. I'm finna go finish beating Tulane.
Yeah, I was playing Rice in the initial first game of the season. It's like I forget what season. I think this is my 5th season. I'm 80-0.
I just won that championship at ULM. Shout out Trey Green. Yeah. 20-something touchdowns, man.
It's sad, man. I had to get Emory Jones to Houston to win him a national championship.
Hey, I had to get Trey 2,200 yards, bro. 24 touchdowns, man.
That's crazy.
Was a workhorse. I ain't have no other receiver with over 500 yards.
All right. We'll be back on Sunday. Like that. We out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!